Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss with you a topic that is nutrition. And in the further class I will discuss about nutritional disorders. So, in this sequence of our online classes, I am just going to discuss some facts about nutrition. As you know, balanced nutrition is essential to maintain health and to prevent diseases. We eat intermittently, but the energy needs are continuous. Neurophysiological mechanism control appetite and eating behavior. Energy needs of the body during feeding are met by the nutrient absorbed from gastrointestinal tract, and at other times body needs are met by the release of energy from source. The excess amino acids, fatty acids and glycerol are stored as proteins, triglycerides and glycogens, and the above process is under the control of insulin. Nutrition plays a major role in causing certain systemic disorders such as IHD, ischemic heart disease, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, renal stones, gallstones, dental caries, and carcinomas of stomach, liver, and large bowel. Either excess or poor nutrition can cause disease, and diseases can cause malnutrition. Now, coming to classification of nutrients, there are three types of nutrients. Number one is water, second one macronutrients, and third one is micronutrients. So, as you know, water accounts for 60 to 65% of the body weight, and 75% at the time of birth, and 50% in older age. Water is distributed between intracellular species and extracellular species. In intracellular species, it accounts for 40%, and in extracellular species, that is in plasma and interstitial fluids, it is 20%. And daily water intake for an average adult will vary between 1 to 3 liter depending on the climate. As you know, micronutrients itself divided into three parts, like carbohydrate, which is again of two types, energy yielding or non energy yielding. Energy yielding, that is monosaccharides such as glucose, fructose, ribose, etc. Disaccharides, lactose, maltose, sucrose, and polysaccharides, that is starch. These are energy yielding carbohydrates, and the non energy yielding carbohydrates are dietary fibers. As you know, macronutrients is divided into carbohydrate, fats, and proteins. And micronutrients is again divided into two parts: organic micronutrients like vitamins, which is not synthesized in the body, and inorganic micronutrients, that is electrolytes, minerals, and trace elements. As you know, energy yielding micronutrients, carbohydrate, an average adult consumes 55 to 65% of calories as carbohydrate, and they form the major source of energy. 200 gram of carbohydrate is required per day, and 1 gram of carbohydrate yields 4 kilocalories. And further, as you know, ketosis is likely to occur when the intake is less than 100 gram per day of carbohydrate. Coming to the point, sources of carbohydrates. Sources of carbohydrates available as sugars, which is mono and disaccharides, intrinsic sugars, that is fruits and milk, which is always good for health, and extrinsic sugar like cane sugar and beetroot sugar, which cause dental caries. Carbohydrates are also available as polysaccharides, starch, glycogen. Starch is available in cereals, wheat, rice, maize, etc., and roots, potato, and cassava, plantains, and legumes. There is a term here, probably you know about it. That term is glycemic index. Now, what is glycemic index? So it is defined as the 2 hours plasma curve after 50 grams of carbohydrate in a given food, divided by a curve of 50 grams of glucose in water. Glycemic index is high for glucose, bread, and potatoes, and low for legumes and whole grain cereals. Carbohydrates with low glycemic index are preferably for diabetic patients. Another one, carbohydrate that is non-energy yielding carbohydrate, which is dietary fiber. It is a natural packing of plant foods and not digested by human enzymes. They are of two types: water soluble fibers and water insoluble fibers. Oat bran, beans, pectin, guar gum, they act in upper GIT and induce early satiety, flatten glucose tolerance curve, and decrease serum cholesterol. Another one is water insoluble fibers, which is present in wheat bran, hemicellulose of wheat because of increased water holding capacity, increases the bulk of stool and the prevent constipation. Flatus formation is common with fiber diet, and the daily requirement is 15 to 20 gram per day. As as I have already told, macronutrients are carbohydrates, fat, and proteins. So after discussing about carbohydrate, we should just have a look over fats and proteins. Fats, an average adult consumes 30 to 40% of calories as fats, and 1 gram of fat yields 9 kilocalorie of energy. It is the cause for obesity in sedentary people. There are three types of fats: saturated fats, you know very well about it, that is ghee, palmitic acid, myristic acids. They increase plasma LDL and total cholesterol. They predispose to CAD. Monosaturated fatty acids like oleic acid, polyunsaturated fatty acid, linoleic acid in plant seed oils and its derivative, gamma linoleic acid, arachidonic acids are the essential fatty acids. They are precursors of prostaglandins, eicosanoids, and they form part of the lipid membrane in all cells. The omega 3 series of polyunsaturated fatty acids occurs in fish oil. By antagonizing thromboxane, they inhibit thrombosis. Their use is advocated to prevent hyperlipidemia and CAD and to reduce triglycerides. Now, there are two types of diet here, a stage 1 diet and a stage 2 diet. It is advocated to prevent hyperlipidemia and CAD. It consists of 10% of each type of fats with daily cholesterol less than 300 mg per day. And in a stage second diet, it is advocated in hyperlipidemia when a stage 1 diet sorry, fails to achieve the goal. And it consists of 7% of each type of fat with daily intake of cholesterol less than 200 milligrams. Now, proteins. Proteins form the basic building units of the tissue. They play the major role in the formation of enzymes and hormones and also in transport mechanism. Unlike carbohydrates and fats, no proteins are stored in the body. The amino acids in excess proteins are transaminated and the non-nitrogenous portion is stored as glycogen or fat. Protein requirements are highest during growth spurts, infancy, and adolescence. Protein requirement during these stages 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram per day. There are 20 different kinds of amino acids, of which 9 amino acids are essentials, as you all know about it. You have learnt in uh, the pre-PMT test at the time of pre-PMT examination. That is tryptophan, threonine, histidine, leucine, isoleucine, lysine, methionine, cysteine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, and valine. They are essential for synthesis of different proteins in the body. Proteins of animal origin like eggs, milk, meat have higher biological value than the proteins of vegetable origin. An average adult requires 10 to 15% of total calories as proteins. It is equivalent to 1 gram per kilogram body weight. Here we should know daily intake of protein. Normally, 0.8 gram per kilogram body weight protein is required, and in illness or injury or metabolic stress condition, 1 to 1.5 gram per kilogram protein is required. In acute renal failure, zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per kilogram protein is required. At the time of hemodialysis or peritoneal dialysis, protein requirement should be between 1.2 to 1.5 gram per kilogram. Now, daily energy requirements. What should be the daily energy requirements of a normal body or a normal individual? The daily energy requirements depends upon the type of work you are going to perform or nature of your occupation. Energy requirements depends on age, sex, body weight, lactation, climate, such as lower calories for tropical climate and higher calories for colder climate. In a resting person, male person, in a resting male person, 2000 kilocalorie per day energy is required. At the same time, a resting for a for the at the same time for energy required for a female in resting condition or at the time of rest is 1500 kilocalorie per day. Daily energy requirement actually depend upon light, moderate and heavy mode of work. Growing children, pregnant lady and lactating mothers need more calories. Brain uses glucose at the rate of 5 gram per hour. So this is a short and brief discussion about nutrition and its nutritional requirements. Next class, I would like to discuss about classification of nutritional disorders and clinical features, at the same time the probable treatment of that kind of disorders. So thank you. This is all for today.